Hey, it's Ben Angel here, the author of the upcoming book, The Identity Gap, a 90-day mission to become unstoppable. And this week I'm coming at you from beautiful Vancouver, in which I'm on a research mission to identify key things that we can do as individuals to become unstoppable and live ultimately an unleashed life. And one of the topics of discussion within the upcoming book is how do you actually get out of your comfort zone? One real easy analogy for you to understand a comfort zone is I want you to think of it like a rubber band, in which we put a stake in the ground at one end of the rubber band as to who we currently are. That's who we're comfortable with, our values, our beliefs, how we see the world, as well as how we see ourselves. When we're looking to achieve a real grandiose goal, we stretch ourselves, and sometimes we take massive action and we stretch the rubber band till there's a lot of tension to the point that we trigger our own fight or flight, and we snap back to our old self because we're steeped in who we are in the past. And the reason we snap back is because it's comfortable and it's safe, specifically for the unconscious mind. So how do you get out of your comfort zone when you're aware that that's a behavior that you've been doing in the past? Well, there's a few powerful techniques that you can do that will help you put a stake in the ground to help you move forward in incremental steps that will prevent that snapback from occurring so you can change. Now, the first one may sound really unorthodox, and it's not something that you typically hear out of the mouths of motivational speakers, especially in the personal development field. And that is to look at your serotonin and dopamine levels. And I don't necessarily mean go out and try and get them tested, because they're hard to test, first of all. But what we've found and what we know from research is that if you're low in dopamine as well as serotonin, it can trigger a whole wave of issues, including depression, anxiety, and inability to focus, as well as even the development of ADHD. Now, that's obviously if you're in the extreme spectrum. When we go to reach one of our goals, we want to ensure that biochemically we're sound. We're setting ourselves from a good grounding point that we can step off of from. If we're not happy in the attainment of that goal, a lot of us will typically blame the goal and blame the vision itself, saying, okay, this is just too hard, it's making me angry, it's making me sad, it's even making me depressed, I can't focus on this right now. Instead of looking at it, well, maybe it's our actual biochemistry that's the issue and not the goal. Because I'm sure that you've got a beautiful vision that you want to achieve, and what we tend to do is we look at, okay, these emotions and these feelings, they're actually occurring from biochemical discrepancies within our body. We're actually blaming them on our vision, and we associate our vision with those bad feelings. And this is where a lot of people tend to give up. So that's step one. Very unorthodox, I know. But there's a few things that you can do naturally, of course. There's a first step, you can look into supplementation. Now, one of the supplements that a lot of biohackers typically use is a supplement called L-tyrosine, which can help boost dopamine in the body. It acts as a trigger. And the second one is 5-HTP. 5-HTP is used by a lot of individuals to help with depression, but it can also be used as a mood enhancer in general. Be sure to check out your own research before you start taking those supplements. I myself have tried both, and they've actually acted as a trigger to help me move out of a period of time in which I was procrastinating, I was incredibly tired. So it acted as a trigger event to help that change occur. The second thing that you can do is, first of all, exercise for boosting your serotonin levels, as well as even Googling dopamine diets. Yes, that's a thing, dopamine diets. There are specific foods that you can eat that will help increase your dopamine levels. Once you've got this as step one, then you're in a biochemical state to seriously go push yourself out of your comfort zone. And that leads me to step number 2, purposeful meditation. Once you know what you want, you really want to start that mental rehearsal occurring. And this is what top athletes do every single day before they go into their practice. And that is to sit down for a couple of minutes and meditate and visualize on how you see your goal unfolding, whether it be for the day, week, year, or several years. See it unfold, rewind it, fast forward, rewind, fast forward. What you're doing here is you're tricking your subconscious mind into thinking that you've already been there and done it before, which means there's nothing to fear, which also means that you don't trigger off your fight or flight response. So instead of stretching your identity into who you're becoming from here to here and then snapping back, you're tricking your mind to think that it's actually safe over here. You've been here before and you've already done it. So you can kind of catch up and then evolve on to the next step. That's the constant process of life. So by doing these visualizations on a daily basis, you not only alleviate fear, you stop fight or flight, you also release any anger or frustration you may have at the task at hand because you're mentally dealing with it on a daily basis instead of letting it build up to the point that it's obviously going to pop and overflow into other areas of your life, in which will also snap you back into your old self. Step number 3, I'm borrowing from the fitness industry, which is progressive overloading. When you want to bulk up, ultimately, you have to overload your muscles to stimulate that next stage of growth. Now, when you want to become a better version of yourselves, you also have to overload your existing self to a point that it doesn't trigger fight or flight, but it triggers that expansion of next stage growth in your life. And there's a few things that you can do above and beyond the first 2 steps that I've already suggested, which is listen to podcasts on a daily basis, immerse yourself in YouTube education, take online courses, go to networking events, and absolutely immerse yourself in the person that you're becoming. What would the person that you're becoming listen to, read to, and do on a daily basis? Once you start to evolve into that individual, that will give you the groundwork and the framework to pursue those really big, hairy, audacious goals that you're after. This daily progressive overloading is going to stimulate your mind, which is also going to stimulate your dopamine levels. Anything new, any new experiences and new music or new learnings will stimulate your dopamine to give you that real feel-good feeling, which will obviously put another stake in the ground so you can let that old rubber band and old identity out the door and evolve into a person in which you can reach your goals and achieve your goals. To help you become unstoppable in 2018, I've got a special surprise for you. I'm currently running a competition in which I'm giving away over $14,000 worth of my online educational marketing programs to entrepreneurs internationally, to 10 top winners. All you have to do to enter is help me shape this book. Head over to theidentitygap.co, that's theidentitygap.co, to complete a 60-second survey to identify some key challenges that you're experiencing that I can cover in this 90-day mission to become unstoppable. Be sure to head over there now. That's theidentitygap.co. And while you're at it, be sure to hit subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. I'd love to know your thoughts on what you've got planned for 2018. Take care, and I'll catch you next time.